Welcome to episode 168 of the official Gamestitch Podcast. I'm Ryan Walton. I'll be your tour guide this evening. The man next to me needs no introduction. Dan Reamer.
That's right. In the house.
I gave you one anyways.
You did. In a certain sense, you kind of gave a non-introduction, which I like. Right. I like it.
So maybe I should have said the man next to me needs no introduction, but I'll give him one anyways.
Yeah, you could have. But
I like the transition from host to tour guide.
Yeah.
We're going to bring them along the journey today.
I thought we did that every week.
Yeah, but I called it out.
Okay. Now you're just getting a little more literal with the statement.
Right.
That's
Keep
fair.
your arms and legs inside the vehicle.
That's right. Remove all loose clothing.
Wow, that's not one I've heard before.
Keep your arms and hands in the... Always remove loose clothing.
Make sure the lap band is clicked tightly.
Pull your chest...
Like
pull the chest piece down all the way till it makes contact to your stomach.
Like till you hear it click.
And then push it once more for good measure.
No GoPros.
No GoPros allowed. Is that a thing now? Is that something they do?
Yeah. In some places, Legoland was a bunch of dicks about GoPros.
Yeah, you told me that.
So
I remember you telling me that.
Didn't stop me from trying on every single ride.
Goddamn right.
I'm just waiting for somebody to slip at their job, you know?
You gotta keep them honest.
Here's the thing about me. For people who don't know me, I don't do much.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm doing something where I might want to wear a GoPro, I have to at least try. Because there aren't going to be things coming up in my daily life where I'm going to want it on.
Not an extreme sports guy.
Right.
You could just mount it on your dash on your drive back and forth to work.
I think about it all the time in case like a fucking alien ship crashes in front of me or somebody T-bones somebody else.
Yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, I think about it.
And then you don't. I understand.
Yeah. I was at Target. I was at Target the other day and they had like the shitty dash cams for like $30. And I thought about just getting one of those and just permanently leaving it in there. Yeah. I don't want my GoPro in there when it gets hot and shit.
Yeah, that was probably good money not to spend. Especially considering you can't afford to buy Garden Warfare 2 till it goes on sale.
But I got that bitch.
I know. But
and you've yet to play it with me, thanks.
I have yet to play it with you, you're right. Dude, you were on like one night this week.
You know? I got work and stuff.
I do too, but I played
What'd you play?
Every night.
What'd you play? You played The Division.
I did play The Division. I mostly played The Division. And then we played some Rocket League one night. 5 or 6 matches, maybe?
At least.
Yeah. And that's it. That's what I played.
I'm just as boring. I played some Rocket League, some Plants vs. Zombies without you, and a little Farming Simulator.
I know. I remember Farming Simulator because I was in the fucking party.
So I'm pleased to announce that I finally played Farming Simulator in multiplayer.
Yes.
Yep. It just throws you in that person's farm and lets you assist in any way that you deem necessary.
You can do whatever you want?
Yeah, he cut my fucking trees down.
Did you want that?
No.
So now we're back to the Minecraft discussion.
Exactly. Like I want you to help, not to tear down everything I've tried so hard to create.
What? Well, it's wood, right? You could sell it. You could sell the firewood.
I don't need to sell it.
Oh,
I don't need wood.
You just wanted the trees?
Yeah, I want everything to stay like it was. That's why I had it that way.
You can't do that now.
No, because he destroyed everything I'd worked so hard for.
You have to respect the new reality.
And he cut them down for no reason.
Well, because they were there. It's like Everest.
I have a chainsaw. Oh, it'll be funny to ruin Ryan's life.
Did he know he was ruining your life, though?
I think anyone who's met me knows that cutting those trees down would ruin my life. He listens to the podcast. He heard me blow up about Minecraft.
Oh, that's true.
There's no excuse to cut my trees down.
Maybe he thought he was helping, and you didn't correct him, like a child.
No. I immediately said, don't cut those down, and then he kept coming down. He's like, ha ha, ha ha, I'm not going to do it anymore. It's great because there's an empty hole in my heart. You could cut all the trees down at this point because I'm already dark inside. It's a great game, though.
I know you love it. I could give a shit, but you love it.
Yeah, I've got $20 million. That's why there's no need to cut the trees down.
And no trees.
I mean, he only cut like 3 down. It's the point.
How much would you give to have those 3 trees back?
Half.
You would give $10 million
to have never had those trees cut down. I know that I can take them, sell them, grind the stumps down, plant new ones in their place, but to not have to go through that process, I'd give $10 million.
Okay.
Because I can get more money.
True.
I've got a wind farm. My money is endless now.
But to be fair, you can get more trees too.
I want those trees though.
Understood.
I can't get those trees.
I understand that. It's a principle thing.
I got to take a sip. That's how frustrated I'm getting.
Okay, take a sip.
A refreshing sip so that I can calm down.
And that's how you played, huh? Pretty boring week too.
I mean, yes. not in my opinion.
All right. Well, no, mine's not. Mine wasn't boring in my opinion either, but I'm sure.
I've got another fun one.
Uh-oh.
Real fishing on the Vita.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So I picked it up on sale. It was like, I don't know, $2 or something.
$2.39 or something.
Yeah. So I picked up Real Fishing. It's called like Master of the Lake or something. It's got some stupid name, but it's great if you like to fish digitally on the Vita. It's a perfect game for taking a shit.
Is it?
Yeah. Because it takes just a minute. You cast the line out there. You wait for one to come along. You hook it. You reel it in. You could easily catch 3 to 5 fish in one sitting.
One shitting, you mean?
Yeah, one shitting, and then you just turn the Vita off and finish up, and that's it.
Very nice.
I mean, the Vita's perfect for that.
The Vita's always perfect for taking a shit.
Yeah.
Like every game on there is good for that.
Yeah. So Real Fishing, no exception.
That's good. Nope. All I played this week was The Division. I played a lot of The Division. I've got a group of friends that I play with a little bit. They weren't quite leveled up to where I am yet, but they were close, so I was able to carry them through, and we did some of the end game stuff, done some Dark Zone stuff. I've just spent a lot of time, for those of you that do play The Division will understand what I'm talking about. I've been spending a lot of time perfecting my loadout to get it, now that I'm in the end game, to get it exactly what I want from my play style. So I can get lost in that. I get lost in that for like hours. Just switching out mods and recalibrating different things to get, because I want more DPS, or I want more electronics, and I want less stamina and all this stuff. So yeah, it's a good time. I'm enjoying it.
I'll take your word on it.
Immensely. That part of it you would really like. You just don't like the other part of it. It's very much like Diablo, actually.
There is a lot about The Division that I should like.
But as a package, it's not for you.
It was just the game. But, I've listened to a lot of podcasts lately who, there's a lot of people who have had the same problem I have, and they say, like, there is a, 5 to 6 hour hump that you have to get over. And my fear is that I just will never want to do that.
I guess I can see that to a point. There are a lot of complaints about the end game, even though they've released a patch and fixed things. There's still some complaints about the end game. I think over time, as you see more updates and more DLC and stuff like that, I think you're going to see that end game. But you don't show your hand all at once. It'd be like, here's what we got. Here's what we're doing for you. That's it. That's all we have. You don't want to do that. They want to fine-tune. You fine-tune the game that you have, which is what they're doing with the patches and the updates and those kinds of things. Before they bring out, some of the new major content that they want to introduce.
Have they fixed the leveling, the co-op level issue?
They have not fixed that yet. To my knowledge. They have not fixed that yet.
Gotcha. But, it's interesting to see where that game will go. It sold very well.
Oh, yeah.
So it's interesting to see where it goes, and to see. I wonder if a lot of people who are playing The Division are the same people who are playing Destiny, and I wonder if Destiny and The Division and whatever pops up after this are just going to take turns stealing the player base from each other.
Yeah, I don't know. I played Destiny, and I got into it. I'm way more into this. This is much more my style of game.
But I wonder if Destiny 2 pops up, if you jump back over to Destiny 2 and you would leave that, assuming you're still playing the Division.
Right. I think I'm gonna be playing it for a while.
I just wonder how much room there are for games like this.
I understand that because you do need to spend some time with them. I think you're gonna, now that there's other options out there, a lot of people are pointing. There's some people that are saying, Destiny did this better, but there's also people that are saying, the Division does this better. I think it's just going to come down to personal preference. I mean, are you a first-person guy? It's going to come down to the mythology, which gameplay style you like the best, and some of it's going to come down to what your friends are playing, I think.
Right.
But I don't think that's really a valid conversation to have until we get to that point. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Destiny, I believe, is getting ready to release some new content. It'll be interesting to see what happens once that happens. If people will jump back to Destiny or if the newness of the Division will still hold on to those people. But I'm not sure that that's a conversation we can have right now as far as the what ifs. I really think it's a wait and see situation.
Yeah, I'm just interested to see where that goes. Let's jump into some news.
Please, can we?
We can. We always can. There's no one else here, so we make all the decisions.
That's true. That's true.
So, if you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
So, story number 1, a little sad. Extra sad for this guy right here.
Yeah.
Drive Club developer Evolution Studios shuts down and lays off the entire staff. Sony confirmed that shuttered British game studio developer Evolution Studio, that it has shuttered British game developer Evolution Studio, the team responsible for MotorStorm series and the PlayStation 4 driving sim Drive Club. So, all the MotorStorms you know and love, MotorStorm, Pacific Rift, Apocalypse, and the MotorStorm RC, those are their big releases since they've been part of Sony. Of course, before that, they did the what was it called? The World Rally Championship series.
Yes.
But Drive Club was really the nail in the coffin for Evolution.
You can't put out a shit game like that and expect to hold on to your place and your status in the world.
So the game was delayed almost a year, or over a year. Supposed to be a launch title.
Mm-hmm.
It was promised a free version. When it finally came out, it was completely broken still.
Mm-hmm.
Took about 6 more months to be fixed, and the free version took
even longer.
Like 6 more months. Now, I do want to come to defense a little bit of this game, and it was fantastic once they finally got it fixed. One of my favorite driving games of all time.
Yeah, but that's not how development works.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if they were too ambitious. I don't know if they just ran into major roadblocks. I don't know what the problem was, but I know that is a company that is very capable of making fantastic, fun driving experiences. MotorStorm is great, and I hate to think that series is gone, that franchise is dead. So my guess is that they'll turn it over to somebody else.
I'm curious if part of the problem wasn't that once they came under Sony's banner, if they just felt safe.
I don't think it's that. I think it was hard to ever figure out what they were doing because Gran Turismo is and always will be Sony's flagship racing game.
Right.
So I think it was tough to find the place, and they couldn't keep doing MotorStorm forever. And I think Drive Club was a weird next step for them because it brought them even closer to Gran Turismo. And it was very much an arcade racer, which is way different. But I just don't know that Sony has a place for 2 driving games.
Well, I can tell you for sure that I don't. Most of the time, I don't have a place for 1. So.
But you played a little Drive Club.
I did play a little Drive Club. And it was all right. It was all right.
They came out with Drive Club bikes. Clearly, Sony's had this in the cards for a while, but they let them produce all their DLC and let them produce their big update with Drive Club bikes. And
right.
You know, it sucks. This bothers me, but I get it. It's all business.
Yeah, it makes
sense. Not personal. Yeah, sure. It you can't be in development for that long, miss your deadline by that much, and still put out a broken game. But if you haven't played Drive Club, you can find it less than $20 almost everywhere. It is a game worth playing because it is really good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
It's really, really good. Story number 2. This is one for you.
Dose. Story number Dose. Mm-hmm. Power Season 2 debuts May 31st on the PlayStation Store. The second season of Powers will premiere in the U.S. and Canada on May 21st, with new episodes available each week on PlayStation Store. As always, PlayStation Plus members can watch for free.
May 31st.
May 31st. Is that what I said?
No, you said 21st.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't want people upset at you.
Oh, yeah, it's the 31st. What's 10 days?
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, so basically every week they're going to release an episode of the 10-episode series. You can follow them right now on their Twitter and Facebook accounts, or you can visit the official site for more trailers and behind-the-scenes videos. Ooh, for seasons 1 and 2.
You gonna watch this?
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah.
I never even finished season 1.
I finished season 1.
And while pulling this story, I accidentally found a relatively large spoiler.
Did you? What, from season 1?
From season 1?
Yeah.
That I didn't ever make it to.
Uh-huh.
I was like, well, shit.
Like the fact you know what? It's been a year.
Don't say it.
It's been a year. I can say whatever I want to.
Here's the problem. What if it's not the one I just read?
I'm pretty sure it probably is. Why don't you read the one you read? Yes, someone dies. Yes. That's why the whole point of season 2, the whole motto
is to find the killer.
And the whole motto behind it is who killed Retro Girl.
Mm-hmm. But I didn't know that.
But here's what's interesting about this is last year, remember I said a lot of times it doesn't feel like Powers. It almost feels like a prequel.
Right.
The Powers comic book series kicked off issue number 1 with the Who Killed Retro Girl tag. So it'll be interesting to see if now we start moving into a little bit more of the comic book aspect of it as opposed to whatever season 1 was. An experiment, maybe? A prequel? It wasn't horrible. It certainly was not good.
I would agree with you there. It wasn't the worst thing I'd ever seen. It wasn't good. It wasn't enough for me to continue watching it.
Right. I did just out of principle.
But you were way more excited to begin with.
I was, and a lot of the effects got a little better towards the end.
God, I hope so.
Some of the storytelling, the plot devices got better, and then when Retro Girl got killed in the end, that was when I was like, okay, this next season, I'm going to have to catch back up. I'm going to have to see what's happening because now we're going to go with the Powers that I know. So,
I'm interested to see if we ever see another PlayStation original show.
I could see that. I am too. I think they said that the first season of Powers did well. I don't know what well is to them.
Hard to say.
But it's probably important for them to see what happens with the continuation of a series they've already started before they start throwing too many, you can't throw too many pans on the stove because you're going to forget to stir something and fuck it up. So,
right. You think 2 shows is too many, though?
Possibly. If season
there's at least most stoves have 4 eyes. That's all I'm saying.
If the season 1 of Powers was any indication, 2 might be. So
okay,
it's probably good if they're concentrating on 1.
Fair enough.
Like I said, it wasn't horrible. Don't get me wrong. There were really some flashes of brilliance in it.
May 31st. If you catch up now on season 1. Next story, unless you had anything else to
add. Nope, that's it. I'm going to be watching it, so I can talk about it every week.
I'll be looking forward to that.
No, you won't.
Be glad that I ever even tried it. That's big for me.
It is big for you. You're right.
Story number 3.
It was Sony, so of course you were going to.
Don't make me a fanboy.
You are a fanboy.
I'm a fan of video games.
You are, but you're a Sony fanboy. You can be a fan of video games and
but I'm a Nintendo
fanboy
fan
of a particular console.
But I'm a fanboy of Nintendo too.
Not like Sony. No, you're not. You're a fan of Nintendo. You're a fanboy of Sony.
I don't know. If you see the amount of Nintendo stuff that I have.
I understand.
Story number C. Rocket League, a developer, says the Xbox One PS4 Cross-Play is something they can do. Speaking in an interview with GameSpot, Psyonix Vice President Jeremy Dunham says the only thing left to work out are the politics of the arrangement. His exact quote is, "The only thing we have left to do now is sort out find out where we stand politically with everyone, and then it's full steam ahead to finish the solution that we've already started. Technologically, everything works. We've got it figured out. Just a bit more of time to get everything up and running. Right now, excitement is the best way to put it. We just want to get in there and make it happen. Elation is probably another word to use. We're just excited," end quote. So it sounds like they're good to go. They're just waiting on the thumbs up from Sony and Microsoft.
I don't know if you'll get it or not. It'll be interesting to see.
We talked about it. I don't know if Microsoft is actually playing ball or they're bluffing, and I don't know if...
And I'm not sure that Sony needs to play ball.
And I also, since talking about this originally, it really just kind of think this might be a Rocket League story and not a times are changing story.
True, right.
They may just open this up for Rocket League and never talk about it again for another game.
That's very true. That could definitely happen.
Because Rocket League is clearly a game that is blurring lines and changing the way things are working. So I don't know that it changes for all games, but I could see this being a Rocket League story.
I mean, yeah, the more players in the environment is always good. The problem is if all of this cross-play starts affecting gameplay, if it starts creating problems that weren't there before, because that's buggy, then I don't need it.
Right.
But other than that, more players is always good. Ouch, my fucking knee hurts.
What are you doing, rolling around?
Oh, yeah. I got uncomfortable and my knee's fucking killing me.
So before we're gonna switch it up right now.
Boom. Bringing you something new.
This should be this section where we go to story number 4.
But we're not going to story number 4 yet.
We can't.
We cannot.
Why can't we?
Because we kind of got called out.
We did kind of get called out. Listener mail. We got some.
We did. We got called out in some.
We did. Michael H.
One of our other hosts got called out as well.
Right. Michael H. writes into podcast at Gamestitch.com, just like you can, and he says, "Hey, bros."
By the way, that should be... You think it should be bras? Do you prefer to be called a bra? Like a California bra? Or a bro?
I'll accept any and all.
Either or?
Uses of bra.
I'm a serious East Coast guy, so I've always wanted to be called a bra. Because I have no idea what that's like.
Yeah, I'm fine with any of them. I'm a new listener to the podcast, and you guys have quickly become part of my weekly routine. I'll keep this short because I don't want Matt to be a jerk. Laugh out loud.
Just a little tip. As a matter of fact, this is going to be my Uncle Dan's thought for the week. Okay? Matt's still going to be a jerk, Michael H. It doesn't matter how short you make your statement. It doesn't matter what you say. Matt's going to be a jerk. It's what he is. It's who he does. It's ingrained. He's not so much a jerk as he is...
Matt.
Yeah. It's kind of an ingrown. It's just kind of an ingrown personality trait.
Now, I do want to give a shout out to this email though, because he really does bullet point it.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
So he goes on. My question: I was curious why you guys didn't talk about the rumored PS4 4.5 on last week's podcast, and if you could give your thoughts now. Thanks for making such a kick-ass show. P.S. My gone but not forgotten title is Vandal Hearts for the PlayStation 1, a JRPG from back in the day for PS1 and Sega Saturn.
Konami, I believe, right? Konami?
What's that?
Konami? Didn't Konami put it
Konami.
out? Yeah.
Yep, Konami.
Konami.
So let me take the first part of this question.
Sure.
Michael H. I was curious why you guys didn't talk about the rumored PS 4.5 on last week's podcast. So I will take the blame for this, but here's what I'm going to tell you. I typically pull the news stories for this show, and I try very hard to stay away from rumors.
Mm-hmm.
I try even harder to stay away from rumors that I don't think are a thing.
Yes.
So I very much believe in the writer who wrote the original story, Patrick Klepek. I think most of the time he is right. I did not want to think this was a story, and I knew that if it was, Sony would have to respond very quickly, and that by next week, hopefully, we'd have the facts instead of reporting rumor.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked about rumors in the past, but that's something I've really made an effort to kind of stay away from, just because it is...
There's so much that can go wrong with rumors or get changed that we are no longer giving you information. We don't want to be the video game TMZ.
Right. But here's what I will say. If that's what you guys want to hear, then let me know, and we have no problem discussing those things, because those are conversations we are having.
Yeah, well, it's probably, it could be a new segment.
Right. So,
the rumor mill or something.
Yeah, if you want a rumor roundtable discussion of something, that's fine. We can look into it, but I have purposely stayed away from those things, just to make sure that we aren't just going crazy and running wild, because there are handfuls of rumors every week about everything.
Yeah.
So it's a slippery slope. So if you just want us to tackle the big ones, just write in, let us know. Podcast@Gamestitch.com. But that is why I did not cover that last week. That is why I was not on here. Don't blame Dan. Don't blame Matt. That was a me decision.
Hey, we're a team, bro.
We are a team, bro.
We're a team, bro.
Right. So, however, we will discuss it right now.
We'll give you some thoughts now.
And I don't know Dan's thoughts. He doesn't know my thoughts.
It's true.
So this is true, real talk.
Ever. We never know each other's thoughts.
Right, but it's true, real talk right now.
To be fair, that's not entirely true. But sometimes we do know each other's thoughts.
But not right now.
No, but not right now. Not right now.
So let's jump back up to the original story he's referring to.
Sure.
So Patrick Klepek over at Kotaku does great work.
Yes, he does.
So here's how this story came about. GDC is going on. Some people are overheard at GDC talking about a PS 4.5. That news is relayed to Patrick. Patrick then reaches out to his sources. Patrick's colleagues also reach out to their sources in development who confirm this thing is a thing. Hey, it exists. We don't know a lot about it, but it's out there. So based on the conversations with the developers who have spoken with Sony, the PS 4.5 will include an upgraded GPU that both support high-end 4K resolution for games and add more processing power to enhance games supported by PlayStation VR. It's unclear if PS 4.5 is the official name or just a nickname that developers are using. One developer jokingly called it the PS4K when telling Patrick about the device. That was the original story.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I chose not to include when we recorded last week. So since then, a little more information has surfaced. It would seem, again, this is all still rumor.
Digital Foundry has apparently independently established that the PlayStation 4.5 is real and that Sony's R&D labs have prototype devices. And apparently there's more than one source referring to it as PlayStation 4K. This is where things get weird. Because while more GPU power is being offered to developers, apparently it is not anywhere near enough to provide actual native 4K gaming at the same quality level of current 1080p titles. The full extent of the spec is apparently a current focus of inquiry. But, realistically, it's impossible to cram the equivalent of today's top-end PC graphics into a mass-market console.
So this is
pretty much where we're at.
Yeah, this is where it gets weird. So you have to assume what is happening is that it is a upscaling 4K type situation.
Right. Very much like DVDs, you can buy a DVD player that upscales DVDs to Blu-ray.
Right. So I'm going to be pretty negative. I don't know what your thoughts are. If you want to get those out of the way before I shit on this parade, or we can just go together, same time.
They're not getting my money for this. That's not what I need out of my console. I don't need it to upscale to 4K. That helps me not at all. The GPU performance, there's no way they can, like, it's mass market produce the necessary GPU to make a prominent difference from what I'm playing now. Therefore, it's useless to me. It makes no sense. It's a waste of resources. It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. That's me.
Okay. Here's where I'm at. This is a very crucial moment for Sony, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
This makes no sense to me because they are dominating the market.
Mm-hmm.
This is a move of a company who is desperate to sell consoles.
Right.
Which Sony is not. You know, Microsoft story came out a couple weeks ago. I also chose not to talk about because originally it was rumor that Microsoft was wanting to form a path to upgrade your Xbox One, maybe a modular Xbox One.
Yep, I remember the story. And
Phil Spencer kind of got in front of it really quickly and kind of said what he meant. And when I heard that, I thought it makes sense. Xbox is struggling right now. So if there was a way to improve that, then I get it.
Mm-hmm.
But when this story came out, when this rumor originally ran, I thought, no way. Why would Sony need to do this? And a lot from the original report, a lot of the developers are saying it's simply to fill that $400 price market or that price spot that they had went away from their original price tag.
Which doesn't make sense either.
Doesn't make sense because they're selling them hand over fist right now. They don't need to do that.
Not just that, but let's say they make this, it does 4K, upscales, whatever. Say that goes to production and they put it out at $400. Are there that many 4K TVs out there that are going to make good use of this? That people are going to pay $400 for a console they already have?
I don't know.
I mean, if you look at, in my opinion, if you look at it that way, it doesn't even make sense for Microsoft to do that and put it out at $299 to match the price that they've just dropped it to. They're not going to get that money back on everything they have to make compared to what's out there as 4K. 4K has not been proven yet to the mainstream people to the point where will go out and spend that money. And it hasn't been around, the technology hasn't been around long enough for it to be low enough to be able to be in all the, regular middle class households. So
here's what really bothers me about this whole thing. Here's where Sony, I think, can make the biggest misstep that they have made, maybe ever, besides the mini disc and the Betamax.
Mini disc was cool.
The mini disc was cool. You're right. I take that back. Just the beta.
I don't know. Beta was a videotape, just smaller.
Held a little more. I think.
I'll tell you what. This is going to be their biggest mistake since needing a certain kind of memory card that only they make for the Vita.
Well, let me tell you the mistake though. If they separate their customer base by making this system, they will ruin themselves.
Mm-hmm.
If there are games that I buy and put into my PS4K that look awesome and run great, that you buy and put in your regular PS4 that look like shit,
yep,
it's going to be a massive fucking problem.
Yes.
So if it's going to upscale,
on the flip side of that,
there has to be all benefit for me and no downside for you who is not upscaling.
Right. On the flip side of that, if it's going to upscale, it needs to be a noticeable upscale. Or else, again, it's pointless for whoever owns the 4K TV.
So to find a way where I can be happy that I bought this, and for you not to be unhappy that you didn't buy this or feel forced to buy this, they have to be very, very careful.
Mm-hmm.
My bigger assumption is this has more to do with VR than anything. Anyone who's used the Vive says Vive is by far the best. Anyone who's used the Oculus Vive and PlayStation VR say that the Vive is where it's at.
Right.
It is the Cadillac of VR. The problem is that the Rift can continue to improve and get better, but PlayStation VR is always stuck to the PS4. So I think they've sunk so much money into the VR, into the future of gaming, that they want to have something to ensure they can continue to compete on that front.
Mm-hmm.
And so my VR doesn't cost me $400 anymore. Now it costs me $800 because now I got to get a new PS4.
If you really want to use it to its full capability or whatever.
The other thing they've done is completely, maybe not completely. They have drastically killed the market for PS4s right now.
Yeah.
So I have a PS4 pre-ordered that comes out in April. I don't know if I should buy it.
I understand. Because are they coming out with a 4.5K in August?
Exactly.
Or October to launch alongside the...
Yeah, if that's the case, I'll just wait. If that's not the case, I'd like to get the one I have pre-ordered now.
Right.
I can't get both. So what am I supposed to do? You know, and there are tons of gamers who may be ready to buy their first PS4, or making the jump from Xbox to PS4, or from PS3 to PS4. What do they do right now? How are the people that bought a PS4 last week supposed to feel?
I understand.
Or the people who bought PS4 the day it came out. Like, you alienate your player base by doing things like this, and you have to be very, very careful. You know, what's the upgrade path? Can you send your PS4 and $100 in and get a PS4K? How long does that take? Do you transfer my saves over? Like, all those questions.
Mm-hmm.
And the longer that Sony lets this sit and simmer, the bigger mistake I think they're making. I think they have to get in front of this. I don't care if it was the E3 announcement or not. Come out and tell everyone what you're doing so that I don't have to freak out.
Yeah. No, I understand. And it's like I said, for me personally, there's a whole... Anyone out there like me, this does nothing for them. It does nothing for me. It has no benefits for anything I can use it for. There's no reason for me to be excited about this. The only thing I have to worry about now is, are people that I play with now going to get this new one because they are into the VR or whatever, or have a 4K TV, and now I'm not going to be able to play with them anymore.
Or does it give them a noticeable advantage when playing online against you?
Right.
I don't like this. It's messy.
And that's why we don't report on rumors.
Because they piss me off.
Because, well, I mean, essentially what we've done is we've shit on something that we don't know if it's real or not.
Right. This could be the greatest thing Sony's ever done, but I'm mad about it because I don't have all the details.
Right. And we just shit all over it.
So because it was pointed out we didn't talk about this.
We did talk about it.
Right. There was another big rumor going around that people are seeing the NX for the first time.
Yeah, oh, yeah. But
so I thought, hey, at this point, because we got the rumor roundtable, we're going to talk about that shit too. But before I could get the news pulled for today, that had already been proven to be fake.
Yes.
If we'd have talked about it last week, speculated, gone crazy, how do you put it in your pocket? It's such shaped like a fucking eyeball. It's pointy on the end. It'll stab your leg. It'll tear the sticks off. And if we'd have had that conversation, it'd all been for nothing.
And not to mention, we look like fools because we fell for it.
Well, we already look like fools.
Yeah, we don't need help, though. This is my point.
But if you tell me it's shaped like a flat, small plastic football with two nips sticking off the top, and hey, I gotta give it to him. That picture looked very convincing.
Yeah, it did.
I thought this might be the NX. Like it may have just been leaked. But if, like I said, we'll talk about rumors all day if that's what you guys want. Just let us know and understand why I've stayed away from that. But we don't mind.
Right.
We'll talk about the future of gaming.
We've given you both sides. Why we stay away, and maybe it's what you want to hear. So we'll do it all day. We'll talk rumors all day.
Yeah, if you want us to slide right in your ears and talk about some sweet, sweet rumors until we get your brain pregnant with rumors, rumor talk, we'll do that. I'll do that.
I don't know if I'll do all that, but
I'll do it. I'll make sweet love to those ears.
I'm too old for that.
Wow. You're only too old if you think you're too old.
Okay, I think I'm too old.
PS 4.5 or PS 4K?
I don't know. They both aren't good.
They're both dumb. Let me lay this one on you.
No.
The new PlayStation 4.
There we go. Yeah, that's perfect. That's the one I want.
Is that the keeper?
Yeah, that's it.
The new PlayStation 4.
Yep.
I really like. I know that PlayStation 4K is probably the one out of this list that is actually the name.
Yeah.
I really like PlayStation 4.5.
Do you?
Because it's stupid. It's really stupid.
It's incredibly stupid. The
I don't
4K
like
thing
half
is
it.
too, especially if the biggest thing they're doing it is VR.
Don't you talk bad about my VR.
Shut your hole. I'll talk bad about whatever I want to.
I watched 4 hours of VR games this week on
I don't
YouTube.
care.
I'm so fucking ready for VR.
Good. You can get yourself a PlayStation 4.5K.
Man, what if they call it that? It's 4.5 Ks. It's 0.5 more Ks than my TV can even handle. I need more Ks. VR looks real good to me, and I may lose my job, my house, everything.
Okay.
To live in the virtual reality.
If that's the case, it's just going to be me on the podcast. So get ready for that, listeners.
Right. And just know I'm out there in a wonderful world just creating.
He'll be out sitting on a corner holding up a sign somewhere.
No, I'll
with
be
his
playing
VR.
VR.
You'll have the goggles on, but you'll still have the sign.
I'll just drag the box, the processor box behind me,
That's
not
right.
plugged into a PS4.
And you'll live in it when you're... Hold it over your head when it's raining.
I can't... How long until the first stories come out of kids dying because their parents are in VR or neglected or a house burns down while in VR or house is robbed while in VR? How long till those stories?
I don't know. I'm going to say I think it takes 6 days to starve to death. So I'm going to say 7 days after the release.
I mean, we're in it. Rifts are shipping. Vives are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like VR is now. And in October, PlayStation VR is out, which is exciting. But the VR times are now, so I guarantee you media cannot wait for something bad to happen while someone's in VR.
Oh, no, they're just waiting for it.
You hop in VR, you put your headphones on, you crank it up, you're fucking living the dream. You take your shit off, there's nothing left in your house but the PS4. They took everything while you were living the dream.
Because that's what VR does.
You didn't know you were in VR. You're in virtual reality.
Johnny Mnemonic.
I'm excited about the future.
Lawnmower Man. Yeah.
Good.
What's next? Enough
Next
about virtual reality.
Next is time for our newest segment, one that you guys seem to like. Gone but not forgotten, where we reach back into our gaming history, we pull something out from our past, we dust it off, we hold it up in front of you like Simba, Lion King.
And say Hakuna Matata. No, not actually.
Nope, not what they say then. We hold them up, we show everyone in the village, in the Animal Kingdom. That's what we do, but we do it with a video game, and instead of Animal Kingdom, it's you guys. This week, it's Dan's turn.
It's my turn. We're moving up to the Nintendo 64. This is probably actually a very little known game. This is a game that I mixed up some genres that I enjoy. So I feel like I was one of only probably 4 people who played this. This game is called Hybrid Heaven by Konami.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it.
It was released for the 64 in 1999. It has aspects of both role-playing and action-adventure games. Basically, the designers had hoped to create a new-style RPG battle system. It was also one of the few Nintendo 64 titles to support a widescreen mode.
What's it called?
Hybrid Heaven.
Hybrid Heaven. I'm going to look it up while you keep talking.
Sure. It takes many elements from regular 3D action-adventure games like Tomb Raider. You can move in any direction, jump, crawl, climb, shoot. You have to solve puzzles by, disabling different things or through maneuvering. The difference was that when it came to battling a monster, which was called a biological weapon in the game, it switched to a different mode. It was no longer action adventure. You were kind of constrained to like a tiny arena. You couldn't jump, you couldn't crawl, you couldn't climb, and it almost turned into almost like a JRPG at that point, because you and the monster would move around for strategic position, and then whenever it was close enough, and you had to build up energy, somebody would decide to attack. Time would freeze in a single round, pretty much like a JRPG, and the attacker picked an attack from his little list, and the defender picked a defense. And then they would return to jockeying for their positions in real time after they did their move or whatever, and built up their energy. It could all keep happening really fast, and it just kind of went back and forth in the fights. It was called a versus battle mode, and it was kind of like a regular 3D fighting game, but instead of just regular punching, kicking, and grappling, you could like save up your energy and do combos. You could edit your own combos, or you could use the pre-chosen combos that they already had, depending on how much energy you had. It was really, really, as you leveled up, you had new things you could add to your combo, new moves. But the only time you ever got to use them was when you weren't running around exploring. You could only use them in those like small arena-style JRPG fights.
Now, I got to tell you, this game may have been groundbreaking. Doesn't appear to hold up, though.
Oh, well, probably not.
I'm watching a video now.
Horrible. Yeah, it looks bad.
It's rough.
But you see how it plays.
It's interesting, yeah.
How they tried to mix things up.
But rough as hell, and I can honestly say I'd never heard of this game until you brought it up.
And I loved that game. I played that game pretty much just like I played Final Fantasy VII, which was like balls to the wall all the time.
Right.
Because it was so different. And the way it mixed up... Because I liked fighting games at that point, because I was still young and had some dexterity, and my hands didn't hurt all the time from arthritis, because I'm ancient. You know. So, and it kind of mixed all those up, but it had you could add to the combo. So in that sense, it was almost like No Mercy. You could like create your own combos and stuff. And yeah, I had an awesome time with this. If you haven't played it, at least watch a video on it. Graphically, it's not going to hold up. Don't pay attention to the graphics. Pay attention to the mishmash of genre styles. That's what is really, really interesting about this game. And it was what really kept me interested. It didn't look good then for the 64, to be honest. It looks even worse now.
Right.
But what they tried to do was just so different for the time that I was all in. I played through it twice, and there was no branching paths or anything like that. It was just so different. So full of ingenuity, the way they tried to mix everything. So, Hybrid Heaven by Konami, 1999, Nintendo 64. It's gone. It's not forgotten.
So earlier we told you Michael H. His gone but not forgotten title was Vandal Hearts. Dan just told you his was Hybrid Heaven. We also got a tweet we need to tell you about. Because you guys seem to be liking this new...
this new invention called Twitter?
No. People don't. That'll never catch on. People like this new segment that we do, though.
Yeah, they do.
So, Enjoy My Teabag. We talked to him last week. He sent some reader mail in. Matt was a dick about him, just to catch you up on last week's episode. Which
Michael H. remembered, so he deliberately tried to do something that would cause Matt to not be a dick, and sorry, Matt's going to be a dick.
Right. So he hit us up on Twitter, just like you can, at @game_stitch, to talk about his gone but not forgotten title. So the game he played a lot at the PS1, PS2 days was Bloody Roar 2. I loved it and wished it would come back, and he also wishes that Twisted Metal would come back, and I assume, like me, that he completely ignores the PS3 version that came out.
He needs a good Twisted Metal.
Right. He means he actually wants Twisted Metal to come back.
Bloody Roar 2, was that like the werewolves and...
Bloody Roar 2 was
it
was a fighting game.
It was a fighting game, but it... Wasn't it like manimal people? Different animals?
I believe that to be the case.
That were like hybrids with people, if I remember it right.
I mean, I'm sure someone will write in and tell us. I know that it was just regular-ass looking people, and I want to think that they'd, like, transformed.
Maybe that's what it was. They turned into an animal?
Yeah. Let's get to the wiki before people start,
Why don't we?
Start being douche sacks.
Well, that's...
Wikipedia, bloody roar.
People are douche sacks. It's going to happen. It's fine. We're douche sacks, so...
The fighting game created by Hudson Soft. The series has been published by multiple companies, Virgin Interactive, Activision, Konami. So let's say gameplay. Bloody Roar, blah, blah, blah. Punch, kick. Okay. Bloody Roar has kept somewhat same controls over the series. A button, each for both punch and kick. A button for punch and kick. The Beast Transformation attack button. And a fourth button to either throw or block.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we hit the nail right on the head.
You turned into an ant. You turned into some...
It was Manimal, the fighting game.
God damn it. I need Manimal, the action-adventure detective game. Well, plays like Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
Where you're just back and forth and you could change, Hawk, gouge out eyeballs, and then you, after you do that, you immediately turn into a panther and hit the ground, and fuck yeah, I got this figured out.
In VR, bitches.
Not in VR.
In VR, coming soon.
Not in VR. No VR.
Is that the stove? I don't know. I'm in VR.
Am I on fire? I don't know. I'm in VR.
I feel like that was the weird one I said earlier. People stealing shit in your house could happen, but you would still smell your house burning down in VR. But you let that slide when I said it.
Uh-huh.
Thank you at Enjoy My Teabag.
Yes.
Thank you at Michael H. Thank you at Dan. For all bringing us a gone but not forgotten title that we should check out. Like we tell you every week, if you have anything you want to suggest, that you want to talk about, a game you love that we haven't got to yet, be sure to hit us up on Twitter at @game_stitch and use the hashtag GBNF, gone but not forgotten. And we'll talk about it on this Ver podcast.
Yes, we will, because we've proven we do that.
We did. We just did that.
That's my point.
Sometimes we ask you questions. We're like, hey, what do you think about this? Kind of like we did with the rumor thing.
Yes.
So last week, I also said, hey, we got this awesome letter. Have you ever had anything happen where your game fucked up?
Mm-hmm.
Or something bad happened when you were gaming?
Right.
We also got a response from friend of the show, part of the show, Hoffen Show.
Hoffen Show.
So this is a funny story. That's not going to be funny when I tell it because I don't have the rage that he has because it didn't happen to me. But if you remember back, he actually lost his entire Minecraft save when his PS4 did an update. He was crushed, destroyed. He says it was a sad day.
I believe it. I know you love your Minecraft there, Hoffen Show.
He got his feelings crushed.
Soul ripped out.
That PS4 update face-fucked his Minecraft save.
It happens,
and he lost everything.
What are you going to do, right? It happens.
I hate it for him.
I do. Me too.
I hate it for anybody that has a gaming-related mishap. But they're real. Remember when you thought you bricked your system?
Yes.
When you were part of that fancy preview update club?
Yes, I remember. I don't think I ever talked about that in a podcast, did I?
I don't think so either, but you thought you bricked your system. Turns out
it's that stupid fucking update.
So let me tell you something that bothers me. I didn't get that, remember?
Yeah, you're lucky.
I did get it, though.
You did?
Yeah, because I received the email that said, hey, tell us what you thought of the fucking update.
Yeah, I got that email, too.
But I missed the first one, I think. I missed the first...
Oh, it's better for you, I promise.
No, but I could have been a part of things.
Mm-hmm. You could have installed it and immediately uninstalled it because your PS4 quit working.
I think that was a you thing. I didn't see that happen on the interweb.
It happened to me.
I believe it happened to you, but I'm saying I think it just happened to you.
That seems right, too.
The participation was good this week.
See, I basically told them it bricked my system in my survey. I said I immediately had to, after 3 days, I had to immediately remove the update because it completely bricked my system. It would no longer connect to Wi-Fi. It wouldn't let me join parties. And there was something else it did.
P.S. Don't make the 4.5K.
I left that out.
Okay.
Because it was just a rumor at the time.
Maybe next time you can say something about that. The participation was good. I like it.
Yeah. No trophies though. We don't give out trophies.
No, we appreciate you guys. No,
we do.
And if we did, there wouldn't be participation trophies.
Exactly.
But we appreciate you guys being involved. Lots of ways to do that. Like we said, at @game_stitch. I am at Podcast Ryan. Dan is at Tolhurst 2002. I'll get it.
It's fine.
Just let me struggle for a second.
I am. It's fine.
Matt's not on the show, but because I'm in a generous mood, I'll tell you his Twitter is at Podcast Matt. Right into the show at you can write in the show podcast@gamestitch.com. Is that right?
But podcast games,
podcast@gamestitch.com. Write to us that way.
Is it late or early? What's happening?
I haven't had dinner yet. It's coming up on 10 o'clock.
You're getting hungry.
It's Friday. A little grumble in the tummy.
It'll be fine.
Right.
Eat a Snickers. You're not yourself when you don't.
If I had a Snickers, I'd love to eat one. I also had a shitty week at work, so I'm a little agitated.
Agitated, good word. I like
That's why there's been more profanity from me this episode. You're welcome. It's a good time to tell you to have the kids leave the room.
Is that why you shit all over Sony? Because you were agitated?
I was trying to downplay that fanboy thing you said earlier. You can also hit us up on Twitter using the hashtag GSPQ for Gamestitch Podcast question. Make sure you tweet at @game_stitch. Use that hashtag or use the Gone But Not Forgotten GBNF. And we'll feature you on this very show.
Yep. Say your name and everything.
Say my name, say my name.
Say my name, say my name.
No one is around you.
It's a little Beyonce right there for you.
I think they call her Bae. B.
I think Jay-Z calls her Bae.
You think?
Yeah.
What's he know?
I don't think we call her Beyonce because we're the lowly, non-Mr. and Mrs. Jay-Z.
I think it's Mr. and Mrs. Beyonce.
To be honest, it could go either way. Because they're both pretty,
power couple.
In their own right, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, together, they're just like this unstoppable force.
Right, because them paired with anybody separately still makes a power couple.
Right. Exactly.
It's interesting.
You understand.
If you have thoughts
on Beyonce and Jay-Z.
on the dominant, the alpha between Beyonce and Jay-Z, write in, let us know.
And if if anybody says anything about power couples and Kanye and Kim, I'm gonna start beating heads. I don't want to hear about them.
He's got a game coming out.
Really? I'm not buying it.
Well, if it's in VR.
What is it? This game sucks. I'm not buying it in VR.
Hey, real down on VR this week. For an early adopter of VR like yourself, you're real down on it.
Maybe it's because I'm an early adopter. I can be a downer on it.
No.
Because I'm an early adopter. Because I
won't accept
understand the realities.
The virtual realities.
The real realities, not the virtual realities.
It's been a good podcast.
Yeah, not bad.
Now you have already. This is episode 168. You've already said 169 will be the best podcast we ever do ever.
That's next week.
My concern is that there's no reason for that.
You don't want to peak that early?
Well, we don't want to peak that early, and there's nothing different about next week's podcast. I don't know why you said that.
It's 169.
I don't understand what makes that any better than any other podcast.
It's just 169. It's on its own. It's 169 all by itself. 169 in the house.
I don't know what any of that means. This is 168 all by itself.
Yeah, but it's not as good as 169 is going to be.
I don't know. You're going to want to tune in next week because apparently Dan has something in store.
It's going to blow your fucking face off.
It's going to be the same podcast we do every week.
Yeah, I actually have nothing in store, but it's going to be amazing. I can tell you why it's going to be the best, because it's going to be the most participation we've had ever.
You understand we'll get no letters now, just so people can make you really wrong.
That's fine. It could happen. I feel like that might not be the case because I'm not Matt.
Oh, you know what we should have done?
What?
So pull the curtain back.
Okay. Boop.
We recorded this on Friday night. Normally we record on Sunday. This Sunday,
True.
Easter
Yeah.
Sunday. We should have opened the show with some sort of Easter thing.
Like how?
Because Easter just passed. Like, hey, hope you guys had a good Easter.
You want to record one right now? We can edit it in the front. Well, let's leave it for the end.
Nope. Yeah, because we give our listeners the shit like it happens. We give it to them real and raw, unedited, gritty.
Street level, bro. Street level, bro.
Yeah. Like, there are plenty great, perfectly scripted, edited podcasts out there. Go find them.
Not us.
No, this is bareback podcasting. It's raw, it's in your face, but you know what? You kind of like it. You don't want to tell people about it, maybe, but you kind of like it when it's quiet and no one else is around.
You want to tell people about it, don't lie.
You should tell people about it. You should rate us on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio, however you listen, whatever you listen to us on. Rate us, follow us, tweet about us, help us out, help other people find this podcast.
Facebook about us. Instagram about us. Tumblr about us.
Tumblr about us. Do people Tumblr?
I don't know.
Tumblr is like the nasty side of the internet.
Yeah.
I like Tumblr.
You should kick us. Tell people on Kick about us. Swipe right and say Gamestitch is awesome.
Whoa! I don't think. I'm pretty sure we're not on Tinder.
We're not. But is that what you do? You swipe right?
If you like something,
For
I believe
accept?
that to be the case.
I don't have it, so you should still tell people. You just swipe right. Tell whoever it is that you swipe right on about Gamestitch.
Again, I don't think that's how Tinder works.
Oh,
Call an Uber. When the Uber gets there, tell them to listen to this podcast.
Yeah, you can do messages, can't you?
I don't know, but I don't think you swipe right and say, "Hey, check out this podcast."
I don't know how it works either. You try it.
Comes out every Monday.
I want you to try
6
it.
a.m.
Listeners, I have a task for you. I want you to try it, and I want you to get back to me and let me know how that works.
Listen, I'm trying to do this outro because you made it weird.
Why? Because I went to Tinder?
Because you don't know anything about Tinder.
Well, you didn't
You
either.
try to tell people how to use it. Yeah, I'm not talking about it because I don't know.
Oh. I don't do that.
Like, find our Gamestitch profile on plentyofishinthesea.com or whatever that site is.
Yeah, I don't know that one either. I've heard of it.
Christian Mingle. Farmers Only.
Farmers Only.
Jade 8.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I was going to say
find the Gamestitch profile on your popular dating websites.
There's one for
eHarmony.
See if you everything. Match.com.
Match.
Adult Friend Finder.
That's different. I don't think you gotta know how any of these things work.
I know how they work.
The Adult Friend Finder. Look for us on X videos.
Xhamster.com.
RedTube. This has been the Porn Playground with Dan and Ryan. We'll be back same time next week. Now, you've already given your final thing.
I did. Matt's always a dick, regardless of how long or short your email is.
All right, thanks for recapping.
Yeah, well.
We'll be back next week. Same time, same place. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Good night.